Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 4 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now, we again are continuing to keep an eye on increasing snowfall rates across all of eastern North Carolina, essentially until you get to around Wilson, Wayne, and Duplin counties, where we're again seeing a very fine dividing line between those that have snow and those that do not. Again, we knew that dry air would be a problem with this forecast, with this snow system, and right now it is playing out as we anticipated. With that dry air further back towards the west, again limiting snowfall along and west of I-95. But let's take a look again at what we're seeing outside right now. This is our view through our Washington cam, starting again to lose the sunlight. Didn't have much today, but what little we had is clearly going away. 20 degrees right now in Washington, comes with a northerly breeze at 10 miles an hour, making 20 feel more like 9. Do want to say good afternoon to Esmeralda, along with Danny and Eric. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Danny goes, how much snow in Washington? Well, Danny, right now I do not have an accurate read on how much snow has fallen at this point. I would anticipate, just kind of by looking at what I'm seeing right now, anticipating generally around 1 to 2 inches have come down right now along the Washington waterfront, but likely going to be seeing again more as we head through tonight into tomorrow morning. We're really, again, seeing the heaviest moisture come down right now because the low pressure system that is powering that moisture, that is going to get stronger overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. That's why, again, we really weren't, I know everybody really wasn't impressed with what we saw earlier in the day in terms of snowfall. That is clearly changing as we speak. Visibility very low right now in central Craven County, 21 degrees, northerly wind 16 miles an hour, making 21 feel like 7. But right now through our Neuse River cam, you cannot see the bridge. I can't see the other side of the Pungo River in Belhaven right now. Again, the snow is kind of going up, down, and all around. Just a few, I'd say about 20 minutes ago, we did have a view of a kid outside playing in the snow. I was really hoping we'd be able to keep him up and keep kind of highlight the joy he was getting from the snowfall, because I know right now a lot of people are hunkered down inside waiting for it to all come through. A question for, we've got quite a few people coming in. Sierra, Jeff, Gay, Maria, Ann, I appreciate all of you. Maria asking, will Raleigh get any snow? Maria, right now, I don't anticipate Raleigh getting much snow, if any, out of this system. Maybe an inch or two, but right now Raleigh is kind of in the quiet zone, the dry air sector that is really going to keep your snowfall totals quite a bit lower than what you're seeing on the eastern side of I-95. LaGrange, at least 3 inches of snow right now. Eric, yeah, you got more on the way. More on the way. In fact, I'm going to try and fast forward. I know I should be talking about what we're seeing on your screen. I'm distracted with the comments. Here we go. Greenville right now getting more and more whiteout-esque. 21 degrees. Northerly wind 15 miles an hour, and here's what, again, we really want to show you guys, the radar picture. This tells the story. We're looking at moisture moving into eastern North Carolina. We know that air temperatures right now down in the mid to low 20s across most of the east, but with the winds factored in, currently feels like we're anywhere between around 5 to 15 degrees outside right now. Keep that in mind if you plan on going outdoors to maybe watch some of the flakes come down. Exposed skin is going to turn cold very, very quickly. I would not have much exposed skin out in this type of weather. Just play it safe. Let's zoom the picture in a little bit closer, and you guys can clearly see we have got a dividing line between those who are seeing snow and those who aren't. And right now, again, back on the western side of I-95, not seeing the same type of snow we're seeing throughout the rest of eastern North Carolina. This is going to, I would say, hold like this for a while. That line, it may scoot its way a little bit further back towards the west as we make our way through the next 4 to 5 hours. But that dry air is an issue. It is an issue. It's what's keeping, again, a lot of that moisture from extending all the way back across the triangle. That's why we're seeing what we're seeing right now. So again, if you are watching from areas further back towards the west, from say Sampson, Johnston, Wake counties, I do apologize. Again, we were never anticipating much snow for you guys. We knew that this would certainly be a snow system that would produce far more snow further east you got. Right now, Hatteras is probably saying, well, Charlie, right now it's a little bit too warm for us. Yes, Hatteras is dealing with more of an icing issue due to the proximity of the water, but we are also keeping an eye out for flooding concerns along the Outer Banks. We have got a coastal flood warning, that will be in effect from 7 p.m. tonight until 7 p.m. on Sunday. Those of you along the Outer Banks, understand this. You guys are going to be, everyone in eastern North Carolina is going to be experiencing incredibly strong winds tonight for a snowstorm. But the Outer Banks, you guys are going to be experiencing some very, very strong winds out of this system. Anticipate wind speeds getting upwards around 30 to 40 miles an hour sustained and pushing quite a bit of water along with it. Now, obviously, we're also going to be seeing heavier snowfall totals along the coast. Hatteras may be kind of the outlier there. Right now, Hatteras' air temperature, at least at last checked at 3 o'clock, was sitting at 35 degrees. We'll check to see exactly how warm or cool it is at this point coming up in just a few moments. But do want to, again, give you guys a look at the expectations for snow, and again, not really seeing a whole lot of big change there, other than, of course, those of you watching on the western side of I-95, we are certainly going to be taking those totals down quite a bit further. But again, our focus in eastern North Carolina is just that east of I-95, and most of us right now are seeing very cold conditions. Most of us upper teens into the low to mid 20s. Winds blowing out of the northeast at about 15 to 25 miles an hour. It is going to get stronger. Winds are going to play a big factor in your forecast tonight, especially for those of you watching closer to the water, but even inland areas. This will limit just how big those snowflakes can get. The stronger the winds are and the drier the air is, the smaller your flake size is going to be. Now, yeah, you could certainly end up with some very sizable snow drifts in this type of scenario, but just also want you to understand that this is, again, going to be a fairly light snow in terms of flake size, very small, not super big, fat, heavy flakes. But again, if it does pile up, we could certainly still see some substantial accumulations. But again, also want to highlight the coastal flooding impact that will be occurring along the Outer Banks as we head into tonight, into Sunday. That's something I don't want to kind of get lost in the fun of the snow, is the fact that the Outer Banks is, again, going to be dealing with, and not just the Outer Banks, down East Carteret County as well. You guys, again, are going to be faced with some very strong winds that can certainly push some water up a little bit higher than what you would normally see. Now, those winds will gradually relax through the day on Sunday. You'll see more of a relaxation period coming up from Sunday at around lunchtime into Sunday afternoon, and then calmer winds hold as we head into Monday. But for this evening, snow expected to stick around all the way through tonight into tomorrow morning. Those of you watching closer to I-95, snow could be wrapping up by the time we get to around 6, 7, 8 a.m. Along the coast, I would anticipate the snow wrapping up generally between around 10 a.m. to around noon, unless you're watching, say, from Emerald Isle eastward, kind of down towards Surf City. You guys may end up seeing it wrap up anywhere between around 8 to 10 a.m. in the morning. So again, for this evening, it's going to be staying cold. We'll be cold early tomorrow morning, but that snow is not going to be sticking around too much longer past sunrise for most of eastern North Carolina. That means essentially what you wake up to Sunday morning is what you're going to be seeing for pretty much the entirety for the rest of the weekend. Not going to see a lot more, well, any snow on top of that. Tomorrow afternoon, in fact, we're going to be turning fairly sunny. 30 degrees by 2, 31 by 3, could end up flirting with freezing tomorrow afternoon. But let's take a more zoomed in look of exactly where everything is going to be and when. By 6 o'clock tonight, Again, seeing a chance of some more flurries back towards Raleigh, but not anticipating, again, a lot of accumulations further back towards the west of 95. Models, again, still trying to paint that as a fairly snowy picture, but clearly the heavier amounts stretched across eastern North Carolina. But you'll also note that there are going to, again, be some dry pockets in there, even as we head towards 9 p.m. But those pockets will start to fill in once we get past midnight. Here again, you can see that rain-snow line draped pretty much right across the Pamlico Sound over the Outer Banks. This is why ice could be an issue along the Outer Banks, particularly for Hatteras. Icing is going to be hopefully kept below 0.2 of an inch, but that could get higher depending, of course, on Hatteras's air temperature. Last checked, again, was a little bit above freezing. Now, coming up for your Sunday morning, here's 3 a.m. Just about all of eastern North Carolina still seeing some flakes coming down. But by the time we get to around 5 a.m., that back line of snow flurries stretches essentially from the Albemarle Sound down across Beaufort, northern Craven, Jones, and then into Duplin County. From there, that back line of snow inches further towards the coast. Everybody essentially on the western side of Terrell, Hyde, Pamlico, Craven, Jones, Onslow, and Pender counties, you guys are all going to be done with the snow by 7 a.m. tomorrow. Along the coast, it's looking like you could be hanging on to the snow at least until possibly 9, maybe 10 a.m., but by 11, the last of those flakes are going to be pulling away from the beaches, and that's going to leave us with cloud cover, but cloud cover that's gradually going to be breaking apart, leaving us with very sunny skies coming up for the tail end of your Sunday, and clear skies overnight Sunday night into Monday morning. That will allow air temperatures to drop down to around 10 degrees. 10 degrees. And here we go. We've got a question from Isaiah Robinson. I'm not sure why, but this station is the lowest on totals. Wondering why? Fantastic question. It is because we have seen through really ever since really Wednesday afternoon that dry air infiltration into that moisture field would reduce the amount of snowflakes possible throughout the entire event. Other stations may not have leaned as heavily into that dry air solution. We took it into account, and that's why our snowfall totals aren't quite as high as everyone else's. But looking at what we are seeing thus far, I would say that dry air intrusion has not only been seen, but it is impacting snowfall totals. We're probably not, again, going to be seeing too many areas get over a foot of snow like some suggested. I'm not going to certainly take a victory lap at this point. That would be way too early, but things are playing out as we expected up to this point with this system. So if you're wondering, okay, why are our totals lower? We took into account that dry air, and here you can see where that dry air is. You can see it between, if we didn't have any dry air, from the mountains all the way to the center of that low pressure system, you would have snowfall filled in. But because there is dry air within that zone, you're seeing breaks in the snowfall. That limits how much snowfall you can see. So watch as that dry air tries to get shoved out of the system. It still doesn't completely go away until that system actually pulls its way out into the Atlantic, when it has a full access to moisture with that whole moisture field over the ocean. That's when everything fills in, the dry air moves out, and everything turns to snow. But by that point, eastern North Carolina will be waving goodbye to the snowflakes, and we'll be essentially left with whatever we get tonight on the ground. That's what we are expecting. That's what we're anticipating. And right now, that's actually what we are seeing. Again, a very fine line between those who are seeing snow and those who aren't. Most of eastern North Carolina is certainly seeing snow right now. Heavier amounts closer to the center of that low. And as we make our way through Sunday, snow very early on, probably not going to be lasting through the morning for most. Coming up on Monday, not much melting is going to occur. Highs in the mid-30s. Not going to be warm enough to really take a lot of that snow away. So any sort of melt that does occur will likely be freezing overnight, Monday night into Tuesday, as air temperatures drop down into the teens again, 19 degrees by Tuesday morning. So I'm not anticipating a whole lot of improvements in road conditions until we get to around midday on Tuesday. I think Tuesday, 45 should certainly help, but the rain showers Tuesday night into Wednesday, that will really help. The rain will help wash away a lot of that snow, and I think by Wednesday, certainly by lunchtime, we're not going to be seeing any sort of snowfall left on the ground so long as that got snow on the brain. So long as that rain keeps coming down throughout the day on Wednesday. Now, here we go. It's been a day. It has been a day. It has been a week, but I'm so glad again you guys are here. We've got a lot more snow to show you guys. In fact, do have a video just in from our very own Brandon Hardison. This was the scene just about an hour ago in farm life in Martin County. Again, want to highlight that the roads are getting worse and worse. And right now in Martin County, the roads are now worse than what you're seeing through Brandon's cameras. This again was taken about an hour ago. And again, you're seeing just snow on the ground, snow on the roads. It's slick out there. So if you can, stay hunkered down where you're at. Obviously, the heaviest snow will continue to come in overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. But once we get past midnight tonight and into tomorrow morning, we'll start to see snowfall rates slowly decrease. And by the time many of us wake up around 7, 8, 9 a.m. tomorrow, that snow is going to be pulling away from eastern North Carolina. So with that said, we will be back with more news and weather, mostly weather, to be honest with you, probably, since the news is revolving around this snowstorm. Again, mostly weather coming up at our next hit. We'll be live here at 5 o'clock with more looks across eastern North Carolina. Obviously, we will have the full team ready to go for the 6 o'clock news over on WITN. We will be here, though, as well on the First Alert Desk. And then we've got live reports coming up tonight, I believe, from... Let's see if I can actually get that plan up. I'm not seeing it, but we will have Haley Hollinger as well as Charlene Richards, who will be going live tonight at 7 and 8 o'clock to give you guys more of an idea of how things are progressing, even as we get past sunset, as we get through the real thick of things later on this evening. Anyways, we'll be back coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your Saturday.